Hello and welcome back. I'm Portlandia Jones and we are halfway through our journey through dry January. How is everybody doing so far? Can you believe it? We're already halfway through the month. And if you're playing Boozycoin with me, how is your Boozycoin jar doing? I can show you here, I've got a few tokens in here. After last video, I did go and I used my allowance. My husband and I opened a bottle of wine that we had been saving for years. It was delicious, no regrets whatsoever. I also had a couple of indulgences this week. If you are anywhere in the continental United States and you're looking back on this video years from now, this was the week that pretty much the entire country was under some kind of winter storm watch. So I used a couple of my red coins here for some hot toddies to help me through some of the colder nights. Now remember, these cost me $5. So at the end of this month, I've got $10 in here that's going into my savings account. Was it worth it? Absolutely. Am I still holding myself accountable? Absolutely. So like I said, if you've got yourself an allowance, try to keep to it. If you have a couple of indulgences, use your indulgences. This will tell you how much you are consuming. All right, let's see. This week is Spirit Week. I've got several different types of spirit alternatives going from an Italian-inspired Amalfi Spritz, a couple of rum drinks, a tequila drink, and then finishing up with a whiskey drink over here. Some of these are pre-made and just have to be poured over ice. It's very simple. And a couple of these come with some fun recipes to try. All right, so let's get started with this first option over here. This one was recommended to me by a friend of mine, Shauna. Thank you and happy birthday. Now, it's not exactly what she recommended, but she did say that Lyre's was a good brand for non-alcoholic spirits. And last weekend, I went a little crazy at our local Total Wine and More store, which has just aisles and aisles of anything that you can think of, liquor-wise, wine-wise, beer-wise, from all around the world. And I found an entire section that was dedicated just to non-alcoholic drinks. Now this one, it is inspired by a popular Venetian drink called a Spritz. And I'm not even sure how to describe it except that it's just completely unique. It's kind of sweet. I remember drinking some under the Rialto Bridge back in my traveling days, and they were a lot of fun. And one of the things that I like about the Lyre Company is that they give back to the community. They give back to community programs that support homeless youth, LGBTQ+, breast cancer research and support, you name it. So not only can we feel good about drinking something non-alcoholic, but we're also supporting a company that supports others. So this is one of the ones that's very simple, just pour over ice. So I am going to grab a couple of ice cubes here. And I'm not too fancy, I just have a couple of ice cubes in my bowl here. And then I'll open this and pour over ice. Oh, that's nice and fizzy. It's got the same color as the regular spritz that I've known before. Let's put this down. All right, let's give it a sniff. Oh, it smells very orange, very citrusy. I'm very hopeful. I think this is going to be delicious. Oh, that is really fun. It's quite fizzy. It's got a lot of citrus to it, a couple of other just kind of fun herbal notes. This is a lot of fun. I would drink this on a warm day. It's snowing outside. I'm going to drink it anyway. So good job, Lyres. I'm going to save this one for later. That is really good. All right, so let's move on to our next item here. Now this is more in the rum family. This is called the Unrum and Coke. So this would be an alternative to a rum and coke, cola. And this one is also one that is supposed to just be poured straight over ice. And it's supposed to give the a similar taste profile to a rum and coke, and you just pour over ice. So let's grab some ice. And I put this in my fancy Coca-Cola glass. I don't know if you guys remember years and years and years ago, I think it was McDonald's had these Coca-Cola glasses in their Happy Meals. I still have several of them. I am not endorsed or sponsored by either Coca-Cola or McDonald's. Come to that, I am not sponsored by any of these companies whatsoever. I have just gone out blind and purchased a wide variety. I've also taken some suggestions from friends and people who have made comments. So this should be good. Oh, another fizzy one. I was not expecting that. Did you see that? This is absolutely clear, with a slightly yellow tint to it. I was expecting cola as in like a dark brown Coca-Cola. That is not what I was expecting. Oh, that's got some interesting notes to that. That's almost got a little bit of like pine or juniper smell to it. Let's see if it says anything on here. It just says it's warm and spicy. So we'll have to see how this one goes down. That is really interesting. That does not taste anything like a rum and cola to me at all. It does have some interesting spices to it. I'm going to take another taste because it's definitely nothing that I was expecting. Yeah, this one's not my favorite. I think if you're somebody that likes gin, it's got kind of the same sort of greenery, piney, junipery type of flavor notes to it. I'm not a huge gin fan, which is why you don't see a gin alternative here, because there's no point in me tasting something I know I'm probably not going to like. So this one's not my favorite. This one though, I'm going to come back to this one. Oh, this is fun. This is just joy in a glass right there. Let's move to this one. This one's also a rum alternative. This one would be more along the lines of a spiced rum. It's made in the UK, but has its inspiration from Colombia. And it's supposed to have a golden and spicy blend packed with dark tropical notes and ginger and kola nut spices. So this one looks like it's going to be a lot of fun too. Now with this one, they don't recommend drinking pretty much any of these straight. They all are supposed to be mixed. And this one, we're going to make a dark and stormy. So with this, undo that. And I have realized I have forgotten my shot glass, so I will be right back. All right, I have my shot glass here. I'm going to put a couple of cubes of ice in my glass. And then I'm going to do 1 shot of the Caleño. I am not a bartender, by the way. Oh, I gotta smell this. Oh, wow. This has a lot of tropical notes to it, like coconut, pineapple, maybe some almond to it. All right, and then we get some ginger beer. This, by the way, is great all on its own. It is one of my favorite ginger beers, and if you want something really simple, grab one of these because you can't really get much simple than that. All right, it says top off with the ginger beer. Add a healthy squeeze of lime. do one more. There wasn't a whole lot of juice in that one. There we go. And give it a little swirl. If you've got a stir stick, you could use a stir stick. And let's see how this dark and stormy goes with our dark and stormy winter storm that we're having. Oh, that's fun. That one's very tropical. I can really taste the pineapple. This is really good. I really enjoy this one. There's some notes of coconut in it, but it's not overly sweet either. It's got a lot of tartness to it. This would be a lot of fun to serve at a tropical party or a luau, something like that. This is really good. I'm very pleased with this one. Very nice. All right, now we're going to go to our tequila substitute. This is the Ritual Proof Tequila Alternative. And this one says that it's got blue agave flower, it's Mexican lime, tropical guava, cracked sea salt, and charred oak. So this should be good for making margaritas. And today I'm going to attempt a matador. So for this, we're going to need 2 ounces of the tequila alternative. There we go. So I'm just going to call that 2 shots. And let's not forget to put in some ice. If you have crushed ice would probably work great too, but I do not have an ice crusher, so I am stuck with cubes. All right, let's try 2 shots of the Ritual Tequila Alternative. I hope that I have enough room in here. And then we want 2 ounces of pineapple juice. And I've got some pineapple juice right here. And then next we want 3/4 of an ounce of fresh lime juice. And I'm just going to do the same thing that I did before and do a healthy squeeze of some fresh lime. If you have lime juice in the fridge, you can also just use lime juice. But since I've got this lime here, I'll go with freshly squeezed. And then I need 1/2 ounce of simple syrup. Now I know a lot of cocktails call for simple syrup, and I often don't have that on hand. So I'm just going to add just a little sprinkling of regular sugar. And all right. I am cheating just a little bit, but sometimes you just got to work with what you've got. All right, so there's just a tiny bit of sugar. And then 1 dash of bitters. And I've got either orange or just regular old-fashioned bitters. I think either would probably work, but I'll just, whoop, there we go. And a lime wheel for garnish. But let's stir this up a little bit. And we had just enough space in my margarita glass. If you have a cocktail shaker or a taller glass, like this would probably work too. Go ahead and stir that in the taller glass and then pour into the margarita glass. All right, let's see how this matador tastes. It's got an interesting smell to it. Oh, that's really nice. That's very citrusy, but there's a little bit of a pinch at the end. I think that's the pineapple. The pineapple is really shining through on this, and there's a little bit of spice too. This is quite nice. Oh, that one lingers a little bit. I would say that with a lot of these alcohol alternatives, one of the things that I haven't gotten a lot of is that nice warm finish. And this one, I'm still feeling it. So this one I might not even have been able to tell that it wasn't actually alcoholic. So this one was very well done. All right, let's move you over here. All right, now finally we have our whiskey alternative, and this one is one of the prepackaged ones from Spiritless. And this company is really cool. It's not only women owned and run, but they also donate up to 2% of their profits to programs that support women and leadership opportunities for women. So another one of those companies that not only can you feel good drinking their products, but supporting their company as well. Now this one is a non-alcoholic old-fashioned, and I will tell you that the old-fashioned is my go-to drink. So I'm looking forward to seeing how this one tastes. And for this one, I went ahead and got one of my big ice cubes. I'm going to put that into my old-fashioned glass. And this one says just to open and pour over ice. All right, here we go. Oh, it's dark, and I can already smell a kind of caramelly flavor. Okay, don't inhale that deeply. Okay, so that one has, okay, this one has a lot of spice. Be careful sticking your nose all the way in it because that goes all the way down to your throat. Okay, let's see how this one tastes. I'm kind of getting some notes of cinnamon and some other warm spices here as well. So let's see how this one tastes. Okay, I'm not going to sniff this anymore. I can't, it's such a habit. Okay. Ooh, lots of cinnamon. Oh, and there's something else there too. I don't think it's star anise, but it's kind of got that same sort of dark, earthy spice to it. And something really, really smooth, and it's got a lot of that caramel. It's quite sweet. It actually reminds me of a grog that I used to drink from a distillery that's no longer in business. The distiller retired. This is very nice. It does not taste like an old-fashioned though. So if you've got your heart set on an old-fashioned, this might not be your cup of tea. This really has more of a, this one tastes more like a whiskey Coke than the rum and Coke tasted. So I would probably opt for this one if you're looking for something similar to a whiskey Coke, rum and Coke, something like that. It's got a lot of that same sort of cola mouthfeel to it. But make sure that you don't inhale because whatever spices that they're using in here are very powerful. Let's take a look at this. Let's see, it does not have what those spices are, but I would bet you that it's got some cinnamon in it, maybe even some clove. And so one thing to mention with this one is that the Spiritless company has a whiskey called the Kentucky 74. So that's what this one is made of. So if you didn't want the pre-made one, you could get the Kentucky 74 and make your own old-fashioned with your own ingredients. So that is very good. Also a little bit dangerous, so just be careful when you put your nose very close to it. All right, so we've gotten a few good options here. Let's do the math and talk about where you can find these and what the nutritional value is. And as I always say, this calls for a spreadsheet. And on my handy spreadsheet over here, let's go through and talk about our calories, sugar, and carbs. So first we have the Liars. And the Liars, which you can see just on the can, one can is a serving size, and that's 250 milliliters. You've got calories are 70, total carbohydrates 16 grams, total sugars 16 grams. So again, that's probably why it tastes so good because it's got a lot of sugar in it. It's really sweet. So if you're watching your carbs, this might not be the one for you, but it's not that bad when it comes to calories. So not bad. And this one I got at Total Wine & More, but you can also find it on their website, liars.com. Oh, and a pack of 4 of these cost me $14.99 at Total Wine & More. And then on liars.com, you can get a case of 24 for $89.25. All right, and since we're over here, I'm just going to take another sip of this. Can you guess what I'm going to be sipping on first once I hit stop on this record? This is really good. Shauna, Thank you. I really appreciate the recommendation. Okay, so the Green Bar Distillery here with our unrum and cola. I think it should be unrum and uncola because again, it does not taste like cola at all. This one has for 355 milliliters. It's 62 calories, total carbs of 8 grams and 8 sugars, so about half that of our lovely spritz over here. And this one cost me $15.99 at the Barber World Market, which is a local store here in Southwest Portland. Or you can look on napacabs.com. This one was a little bit harder to find. All right, so that's that one. Let's look here. All right, let's look at the Caleño. And there are two varieties that Caleño has. This one is the dark and spicy. And this one cost me $29.99, and I bought this at Total Wine & More. But you can also find it at zeroproof.com and also their website, caleñodrinks.com. And this cost $29.99. All right, so let's go to our tequila replacement. There we go. The Ritual Tequila Alternative, Zero Proof. This one comes in at 0 calories and only 1 carbohydrate. So if you're watching your calories, this is going to be a good one for you. And I'll tell you a little secret. Not only did I try the Matador and it was pretty good, but I also snuck a little bit of this earlier and did a poor woman's margarita. If you just get limeade from the store and add a shot or two of this, it makes a really good, simple margarita. All right, so this one cost me $32.95, and that's for a 750 milliliter bottle. This one I bought at Total Wine & More, and then you can also go to ritualzeroproof.com where they also have several recipes for you to try. And then finally, we have Spiritless, and this one was also a Total Wine & More purchase, and this cost me $15.99 for a pack of 4, and these are 250 milliliter bottles. So let's see, the calorie count we have on here is 45 for the can, 13 grams of carbohydrates, and total sugars 10 grams. So again, higher on the carbs, so if you're watching your carbs, might not be the best option for you, but otherwise the calorie count isn't too bad. And they also have on their website, spiritless.com, they have several different recipes. You can also go halvesies on these, so if you just want to reduce your alcohol, you could do 1 shot of this and 1 shot of an actual bourbon. There's a lot of different options. All right, so that is it for our tasting today. I have so much more to taste and share with you, but I had to break this up into 2 parts or we would be here all day. And as much as I love spending time with you, I'm going to save the next video for all whiskey all the time, all whiskey alternatives. So if you're a whiskey drinker, be sure to tune in because we're going to do whiskeys next. All right, well, have a great rest of your month and keep up the Boozycoin game if you're playing, and we'll see you in the next video. Cheers.